Hello art lovers, I'm here today to talk to you about how I approach watercolors. So I'm going to give you a little rundown on some of the things that I like to use. This is a Staedtler Mars Micron 0.5 millimeters. I enjoy using this for drawing. I have a preference for the Strathmore cold press 100% cotton, but really any paper will do. This is just my personal preference. I found that it has really good movement to the paint, so you can put some paint down and keep moving it around before it dries, which I really appreciate. And last but not least, my beautiful colors from Koi Watercolors by Sakura Color Corporation. I really like them. I've got some handmade colors here too, but really my main palette is here and I use them a lot. So other than that, with no further ado, we are about to start. If you have never been to my channel before, my name is Ariana and I like to paint in a lot of different mediums. And today we are going to be painting with watercolor, and I'm going to take you through the stages that I use to paint an image with some realism to it. So I like to tape this down. In case you've never done watercolor before, we tape it down so that as the substrate dries, it doesn't warp, where otherwise it would have a tendency to do so. So yeah, we're going to tape this beautiful paper down, and I don't leave a very big border around it, just as minimal as possible. We want it to be as much paint as possible. Today we're going to be painting a beautiful young lady who works in our medical system, and she's sporting classic COVID wear with a beautiful handmade medical mask. And I found her through Instagram. So her name is Mermaid Bryn. When she is not doing medical stuff, she's mermaiding. So now for the next drawing bit, I'm going to actually speed this up so that you don't have to sit here and watch me draw everything. If you're not great at drawing, you can also just use a transfer, and that works just as well. Now, I don't consider myself great at drawing. It's taken me a lot of time to get confident drawing, but it's something I really enjoy, so I do. But if you're not interested in drawing, just find a transfer method that you feel would work for you, and that's totally fine. Alright, so now that we have our basic sketch down, you can kind of see what the image is, I hope. Let's see. I can lift it up, and so you can kind of see this is a lady with a face mask, her lovely glasses. As you can probably tell as I sketch, I revise a lot of things over and over and over again to make it come out as nice as I want, so as nice as I can get it. You don't have to do that, that's not necessary. I would encourage you, if you don't feel comfortable in ruining your watercolor paper by sketching over it all the time, definitely just do a type of transfer, and there's many different methods to doing this, and if you are curious about how to do that, you can comment below and maybe I can make a quick video about that at some point. But I assure you, if you Google it, you will find lots of different methods on how to transfer a drawing without drawing on the paper because it can wreck it. It can damage the surface. I like to draw, so I take my chances, but definitely not the smartest thing sometimes. So feel free to do that. And then we're going to start with color. Now the color for paintings like this, I will always start with the brightest color, and we'll do what's called the underpainting. So for this painting, she has a lot of peachy tones in her skin, so I'm going to go ahead and take my bright kind of a cad vermilion red, and I'm going to mix that quite light, and then I will do a wash of that, and that is called an underpainting. So after I have some basic colors down, you can kind of see the gradient I've created for the skin, and you can see the darker tones that we've put in for the shadows in her hair. We can go ahead and start laying down some darker tones and kind of finessing some of these gradients that we've made. Here in her earlobe, I can add some purple to create the illusion of depth, and around her earlobe here. And don't be afraid of oversaturating watercolors, as they're not going to dry dark. They're going to dry quite a bit lighter than you see them when they're wet. So right now we're just trying to create shadow and depth and interest by creating an interesting layer of color around her eyes and in her other facial features. And we can use the water and a brush without color to try and blend some of these things. So if you find that, okay, I've put a color down, but it's too much, you can always get more water and kind of loosen it up with another brush. And that's what's so great about using 100% cotton to paint on, is it does not dry as fast as other types of paper. So I encourage you to at least try it out, see if it works for your style of painting. It definitely is my favorite. Everyone has their own preference, and I think that as you paint more, then you discover what is your preference and what you like. So this is just mine, and a lot of that's just come out of what I've had available to me and what I've gotten used to, and that's been the Strathmore 100% cotton, and I'll try and get a link down below if you would like to try some. So now I'm going to go back to the time lapse, and you'll see me layer in some more color. So you can see here we're going to add a lot of cool tones so we've done our warms. Now we're going to do our cools and kind of give it a sense of balance and give it a sense of more weight. There's like more blacks and blues going into this part. For the final highlights, I'm just going to take a white gel pen. And I find this is really easy, especially for quick pieces like this, where you just sort of want to add some highlights while the paint is still in the process of drying. You might find that you need to touch it up again afterward. And this is a lot easier to do when the paint is fully dried. But if you're impatient like I am tonight, you can do it with a gel pen or with any white acrylic paint. I particularly like Golden's line of acrylics. They're really good for this kind of thing. You kind of see the gel pen bleeding into the paint here too, which is kind of a neat effect. She has a bunch of glow around her glasses, so we definitely want to accentuate that. That really gives it a nice look. And around her eyes. And if you do wait, it will come through a lot better than this. I might end up waiting, actually. And you can always layer in more color later. It's completely up to you. It's a lot easier to do when the substrate is dry. I just want to mention that all of the things that I'm sharing with you today are things that I developed through exploration and experimentation. I actually have no formal training. I've learned mostly from the help of others and from videos just like this. So continue to explore and to experiment. And that is basically how I paint watercolors for quick, kind of sketchy, capturing a moment, capturing a feeling. I like watercolors for that reason. You can really capture an emotion with them. So I hope this encourages you to get out there, experiment, enjoy the medium, try new things, all that good stuff. Until next time. Many thanks to Mermaid Bryn for providing this beautiful photo reference of her in her medical mask. And many thanks to the Penticton District Community of the Arts for sponsoring this video.